All right, everybody, we are back with my show, William Wallace for America. And with me right now is Ronald Eller, who's a congressional candidate in Mississippi that I met at CPAC. Ron, we got a few minutes with you before you have to go back to patients. What,
Yes, sir.
I know all about you. We're going to have you on again another time to talk about your congressional race. But you got some unique answers when I asked the question, where are our freedoms under attack? And where do you think that is?
Wow. That is a great question. Our freedoms are under attack up and down the board, all across our Constitution. The first thing that I look at, which is a true Biden administration failure, is the southern border. Our southern border is allowing this mass illegal immigration, and that is going to cause a lot of problems for the nation as a whole. Every town is now a border town, and it would be easy to fix some of this, particularly like chain migration. If a person comes here, a young female, and she's pregnant and delivers a child in this nation, that child should not be a U.S. citizen. They ought to be a citizen of the nation that illegal alien came from.
That's
That
right.
would break that chain migration right at the root. You know, if you're trying to kill a weed, you kill it at the root. You don't kill it out at the periphery. And that would help with that chain migration. The other thing that you could do that would greatly affect this illegal immigration is pass a law that says if you came here to this country illegally, you will never have the right to vote in a federal election. That takes away that motivation from any political party, whether we're talking Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. That eliminates that, gee, I'm going to pander to this group for votes. And that would end that real quick. And then if somebody wants to come here, it's real simple. You know, you go through the right way, you come through the front door. You could show up at a U.S. Embassy in anywhere in America and go to your local recruiting station. You give me 6 years in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps. You get an honorable discharge. You become a citizen, no questions asked. That way, it's a win-win for everybody. You know, they will be taught about the benefits of being an American and what it means to be an American citizen, and they will leave the military with a marketable skill. And I think that would be a great way of fixing a lot of the border issues real quick. I
Do you
do
think
believe
the border issue is one of the ways that we as Americans are losing our freedom?
It is correct because, you know, we're spending all this money to house and support people that aren't productive members of our society, and that is taking freedoms away from everybody because, gee, our tax dollars, you know, we're working for the man, paying taxes for something that we shouldn't be funding.
Right.
The next thing that I think about a lot right now, as far as American freedoms go, deals with the Second Amendment. You know, there's a lot of talk about taking away arms, and people talk about military arms. Well, when you look across the foundation of America, you know, America was not founded in 1619. That critical race theory stuff is a bunch of BS. America was founded April 19th, 1775. William, you and I both know that was the shot that was heard around the world, the Battle of Lexington and Concord. And why was it fought? Two primary reasons. One, over taxation because of the Boston Tea Party, and two, the king said, gee, I want these arms that these people have, because the populace there owned cannons, and there was 3 of them. He wanted those seized. And, Colonel Smith, if I remember correctly, was tasked to do that. He walks up there with the British regulars, about 700 troops, to Lexington Concord, proceeds to cross the bridge into the green there. Captain John Parker stands there with 70 militiamen, and they start to repel the attack. Well, they're getting beaten badly. Shopkeepers, farmers, everybody joined in, and they repelled that attack. One of the interesting things about that attack was there was a man named Prince Estabrook who was injured in that battle. He was, quote, a slave. He died a free man in 1830. He went on to fight in other battles like Bunker Hill and stuff like this. But that is the foundation of the Second Amendment. And if you think about this, then you have the Militia Act of, I think it was 1792, but I'll have to, don't quote me on that. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. But it clearly stated and dealt with the Whiskey Rebellion, that every able-bodied man would own a military-grade weapon 24 rounds, so much powder, so much pork and stuff, so that the government could call you up at any time. Quote, you have to own a military grade weapon. That wasn't a, if you want to, you will. Other things that I think about along these lines is separation of church and state. The separation of church and state is a fallacy. Nowhere in our founding documents does it talk about a separation of church and state. The only place that there is a reference of this is, I'm going to say it was about 1802. Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter to the Danbury Baptist Association, and it stated that, you know, we would not have a mandated religion. Well, then if you go a little further forward, it was Holy Trinity Church v. U.S. 1892, a unanimous Supreme Court decision, stated it is also said and truly that the Christian religion is a part of the common law. But they went even further when they described this. They said, you know, when we go into session in the Supreme Court, we start out with prayer. The Ten Commandments are clearly on display at the Supreme Court. On our money, you know, in God we trust. And what is the last line of the oath of office for the President of the United States? So help me God. Christianity is the foundation of all of our laws and the foundation of this country. And here in Mississippi, I'm actually working on trying to get legislation passed to go into our school system that says that we will have Pledge Allegiance every day. We will have prayer. There will be a U.S. flag and the Ten Commandments displayed in all classrooms. And I've had this conversation with several politicians here in the state, including our Attorney General, who you may know brought the case that went to the Supreme Court, the Dobbs decision, that's kind of reversed the national look at abortion. Well, Mississippi, our Constitution is unique compared to anywhere else that I'm aware of. The Constitution, under Mississippi law, Bill of Rights, Article 3, Section 18, clearly states the Holy Bible is part of our school system and cannot be removed. So we have precedents, we have foundation for this, and, you know, I believe that we can beat people like the ACLU on this. And if you also look at the Northwest Ordinance, Article 4, Section 3, it said that religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary for morality and good government and the happiness of mankind, schools and the means of education shall forever be encouraged. Well, that was saying that in order to become a state, you're going to have a school system.
So I'm going to stop you a second, Ron. Because you are like a wealth of knowledge, and I got my next guest coming on here in just a few minutes. Would you say that one of the best ways to help fight for these freedoms is to educate people more on this history that you're talking about? Because you got this history that I think that more people need to realize and hear about.
I believe that is true. It's like this tearing down of statues and monuments. You know, you cannot run away from your history. It's wrong. You need to study your history, know your history. Those who fail to study history are doomed to repeat it. But back to that Northwest Ordinance, you know, what was the primary text for schools back in that time frame? There was a reader, which I actually have a copy of at my home, and the King James Bible. Those were the foundational textbooks for the school system. And, you know, it is not a separation of church and state. We cannot remove God from a town square. We need to put God back in the town square. People ask me about, particularly when I talk about the Second Amendment and military grade weapons, they say, well, look at all these mass shootings. When did those mass shootings start? It started when you took God out of the town square and you removed fathers from the house. Well, we need to put fathers back in the homes and put God back in the town square. I'm a proud constitutional conservative. I'm running for Congress, and I need your vote and support. I hope everybody out there will go to my website, voteronEller.com. You can get me on the phone at 888-ELLER22. That's 888-355-3722. Unlike Joe Biden, I know my phone number. I need your help and support today.
All right, Ron, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure to get to talk with you again.
You're on my Rumble channel already. So
yes, sir.
So all right, well, we're going to talk to you soon, all right, sir?
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Hoorah.
There you go, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you.